Hey everybody, it's Jesse from Extra Rides. Something that's been on my mind lately is I have a car on Facebook, the 2013 Subaru Crosstrek with 96,000 miles on it, completely rebuilt. It works, looks and drives great. Everything's functionally equivalent, and it's actually a really good car. I have it priced $5,000 below Blue Book. Okay. People seem to think that they know what they're talking about when they ask, is it a clean title? Well, maybe they do. I don't know. But what I do know is there's a bunch of people out there that are trying to buy a great deal for a flip and make a good profit off of it and hopefully catch someone unsuspecting and pay them less. I get that, I'm all about, flipping something for a buck, okay? No problem there. But there's also these other people that are teaching others to ask the car, or if the car was rebuilt, or if it has a clean title, or things like that. That's not what they should be asking. Because you know what? Here's the deal. I know plenty of cars that have been wrecked that have clean titles, and they were not rebuilt correctly. I've seen it many times in my life. I've had many different vehicles, and they all had some kind of damage somewhere along the lines, and most of them had clean titles. They weren't actually fixed right, and that's what I do, is I buy vehicles to repair them, to sell them, but I put in the work for them. Okay? So when people ask if it's a clean title, that's not the right question. The question is, how was it rebuilt? Was it ever hit? Was the damage completely fixed? Is it a salvage title? That's a reasonable question, because a salvage title means it's not licensable and it has not been repaired. A rebuilt title means it's been repaired to appropriate standards and it's been inspected by some kind of government entity to say, hey, this car is roadworthy. That same does not apply to clean title vehicles. So when you're purchasing a car, asking if it's a clean title, it's not the right question. The right question is, was it ever wrecked? Does it still have damage? And does it function correctly? Okay? Just like asking if the car runs good, asking if it drives good, if it tracks straight down the road. Those are all good questions. I mean, it's okay to ask if it's a clean title, because hey, a lot of people are wanting to get a lot of people are trying to get a lot of quality for a little price. Get that. Who doesn't get that? I'd rather buy a vehicle for $7,000 than $12,000 and get the same quality of a $12,000 vehicle. But when you ask if a car is a clean title, that's not what you're getting. If you ask, was it ever wrecked? What damage was done to it? What was done to repair it? How does it drive? Does it need alignment? Does it need anything that you know of? Those are the right questions to be asking. These people out there on TikTok saying, oh, you need to ask if it was a rebuilt title. What does a rebuilt title tell you? A rebuilt title tells you that it wasn't an accident and it's been repaired and put back on the road legally, inspected. That's what they're not telling people. They tell people, you need to ask if it's a clean title, because if it's a clean title, then it's worth the $12,000 that you're paying for it. They don't talk about how you may be buying a rebuilt title for $7,000 and getting the same quality as a clean title vehicle, probably better because it's been rebuilt right. This is just my rant. I'm sorry. You know, if you don't like it, don't watch it. But you know what? Stop listening to people that don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't do this on a daily basis, and they heard it from somebody who heard it from somebody who heard it from somebody. That's how the world works. Okay? I'm not an authority. I don't do this full time. This is a hobby for me. I've been doing this since I was 16 years old. I'm 53 now, 52, sorry. I like to make sure everything's done right. So when I have a rebuilt vehicle, you know that it's going to be the same quality as something else. So you're getting a major discount that I've gone through most of the problems with the car. And let's face it, guys, used cars tend to come with a lot of problems, okay? It's a broken headlight, or messed up mirror, or the window doesn't go down right, or you know, the wheels keep going flat, or the tires keep going flat. Not the wheels. Obviously, if you have a wheel that's going flat, there's a problem. Broken tail lights or headlights or foggy headlights or any of these major things. These are things that I go through before I sell it. Most people are not going to do that. Some dealers might, but they're usually trying to hide other problems by doing that. I'm not saying all dealers do that. There's good dealers and there's bad dealers. There's shiesty dealers. There's all kinds, even in the rebuild market. If you see something that still has damage to it, like a tin panel that's been beat to death, or it doesn't have quite the right paint on it, or if you see rust or things like that, that means someone didn't go through the effort to actually repair these things. You know, and then so look deeper at that point in time. But that's with all cars. It doesn't matter if it's clean. It doesn't matter if it's salvaged. It doesn't matter if it's rebuilt, okay? The question is not, is this a clean title? You need to look at mileage, price, type of car it is, damage, just like any other vehicle out there. You need to look at functionality. You need to look at the oil, make sure it's not milkshake. I specifically do not change the oil on my vehicles when I repair them, when I get them ready for sale. And there's a reason for that. I do not change the oil because that way you can see it's older oil or it's used oil and it doesn't have milkshake. Now, if I happen to have a radiator that is leaking, and even though there was like damage on the rear end, I replace it. I don't just say, oh, well, I'll just pass it on to the next person. What does a radiator cost? 50 bucks? How long does it take to put in? An hour? Really? Come on now. So you guys need to stop asking these questions. Is it a clean title? Because that doesn't mean anything. What you need to do is look for the damage. Look for the quality. Does it run right? Does it have leaky head gaskets?
Yeah, this guy's got a straight up balloon head gasket.
You know, there are telltale signs. You can see that, you know, if it looks like gravy, you've got a leaky head gasket. Okay? Does it have a slipping CVT transmission? Okay? What type of car is it? Does it have a belt? When was the belt changed? Does it have a chain? Okay? There's a lot of different things that you should probably look up when looking for a used vehicle. But you know what? If you get that list, you're not going to see that the fact that it says clean title or salvage title or rebuilt title. Now, if it's a salvage title, you're going to expect that you're going to have to rebuild the car. That's the bottom line. It's a salvage title. It means you're buying a salvage that needs to be repaired. If someone sells you a car that's salvaged, and it doesn't actually, you don't actually even get a salvage title in Washington State. You get a bill of sale, and then you have to go and get it repaired, and then go back to the DMV and then get it restored. Or actually, you have to go to so after you repair the car, you have to go and have it inspected by Washington State Patrol.
The vehicle's safe to be on the road today. Check tires, brakes, all that kind of stuff. Make sure the vehicle's safe to be on the road today. Let's just take a look and let them do a thing. Now, after we put these vehicles together, you know, we do still put them to our mechanical side, and we do a full vehicle inspection on the things. But the state does require that when the state employees comes in, and you know, they do a safety inspection so that it can be certified and it can be branded rebuilt salvage. All right, now that we got the vehicle on the ground, we're going to check things like the lights. We're going to check the dash to make sure there's no airbag lights or anything. Check to make sure all the blinkers, make sure all the heating elements work, the defrost. Also going to check wiper blades and put in reverse, and make sure that all of the rest of the safety and mechanical issues are worked out as well.
Well, there's nobody there. They had him walking over there when he come in, grab it, come back.
Wipers and fluid. Okay, good. Okay, high beam. Good. Okay, brake lights. Brakes. Good. Left turn. Right. Okay. Already started up, and then set the parking brake and put it into reverse. Okay, set the parking brake.
Washington State Patrol looks at it and says, oh, if there's something there, or if they even find parts that could possibly be stolen, because you have to have receipts for major components if they are not brand new. So with all that being said, guys, get a list of what to look for. Stop looking at or asking, is it a clean title? Because that's not the question. And I'm not going to answer anybody that says clean title anymore. I'm going to say that's not the question and move on. Because it's not. And people need to learn, you need to share, you need to pass it on, let people know, hey, that's not what you're looking for. You are looking for damage. You should have a list of things to look for. Not, is it a clean title? Because if it's a clean title at $7,000, or if it's a clean title at $7,500 with 95,000 miles on it, jump on it. But check for damage first. Now, if it's a 2013 Subaru Crosstrek with 95,000 miles on it, and it has a rebuilt title, look at it, find out what the damage is, see if it's been repaired. No, this isn't Lucky. This was just a precursor to the Legacy.
No, it was Legacy.
Because I've never done anything like this. I did this.
It was lucky that there was nothing wrong with the innards of it.
Yeah, but I did the sub rail. I did the
How many miles
frame rail.
I forgot.
95,000 on this. So I got the seam sealer all the way down in here. I primed it all. It's ready to go. And if it's registered and licensed, then you should be good to go. You know, check your oil, go through all your checklists, but don't just automatically write it off, because it just doesn't make any sense. People are teaching people wrong on car buying. It's just not right. They're doing you a disservice. It's not. it's just an injustice for the people that are trying to give people great deals on used cars that have been wrecked and bringing them back to the market. It's doing injustice all the way around. And you know what? You're spending more money than you have to just because someone told you to check for a clean title. Do you really want to pay $5,000 more for the same car, maybe even better, knowing that it's been repaired and all the little things have been fixed along the way also? Ask yourself that question. Anyway, this is Rex Rides, this is Jesse, and I hope you guys have a great weekend and enjoy. I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, make sure you comment. I'd really appreciate that. Also, like, subscribe, and ring the bell, to find out other updates later on down the road. I'm still in the process of making some videos. I have the Subaru Legacy coming up with the frame rails. I'm probably going to cut those out, but I'm going to use a engine support and drop it down from the bottom and cut those things out and replace them. I'm going to try it that way. Also, I'm going to rebuild a frame puller as well. So stay with me. I'll go ahead and film all of that so you guys can have an idea what to do, how to do it, and hopefully give me some ideas for other projects. I appreciate you guys.